morning to the last morning here at European Utility Week. With me this morning I have Kevin O'Donovan, who is, by his own admission, a technology evangelist. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We have spoken already around the event, some of the changes that you've seen. Can you elaborate on what is different, or perhaps what is the same this year?
So I normally spend my time looking at the new technologies and the new gadgets and all the hype around whatever and cool stuff. And the thing that struck me this year was that there's not a lot of cool stuff around. It's kind of under the covers. But there's a kind of an air at the whole show about, it's just about, we gotta do stuff. And we can't kind of dance around anymore and, oh, I'm doing a pilot with new technology and it's all wonderful and whatever. But it's like, the world is changing underneath them. You know, electric vehicles aren't something that might happen. People are plugging them in.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we can debate about whether they should or they shouldn't, but it's happening. So I got to manage the distribution grid. I have to do it now. And yeah, some of the technologies are immature, and I know there's loads of different vendors and whatever, but it's like, yeah, I got to make a decision now. So there's a kind of I get chatting to the folks that I know and whatever. It's like, yeah, we have to make a decision. We can't keep wondering about the perfect solution. So and there's lots of ambiguity, but we just got to go. So there's kind of we're just getting on with stuff.
So do you feel it's like a renewed sense of excitement around the business itself as opposed to the technology?
I think it depends on the company. We talk about the energy transition, and to be quite honest, I spend my time looking at technology. Technology is the easy bit, right? Technology works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's then you go, well, okay, the regulation. Well, energy storage right now, there's a big debate going on in Europe around who can own and operate energy storage. Can the DSOs use it, or can they not? And it has to be somebody else in a free market, whatever. So there's all that going on, and I think that's frustrating to people because people would like to make a decision. But on the flip side, at the European Union level, they've had the whole trialogues over the past couple of months on the energy reform, energy market, and whatever. They've made decisions. Now, a lot of people won't agree with one decision and they'll agree with the other one. But a decision's been made, so it's kind of back to the thing that, well, a decision has been made, so we have to get on with it.
Yeah.
We mightn't like it, but we have to get on with it. So there's depending on who you talk to, there's a sense of, I wouldn't say frustration, but it's like, oh God, we just got to get on with it. Stop debating. We may not like it, we don't know all the answers. There's so much ambiguity. Like energy storage wasn't a big topic, or whatever. And now it's like, I need flexibility in the grid, and I just have to have it because I can't keep the lights on with all the renewables out of the edge if I don't put stuff in. So it's kind of, as I say, people are getting on with it. There is still a bit of frustration, but I think people, they're being pragmatic.
Well, I guess in this kind of environment, you have to be, because it's not going to change, and you have an obligation. So you just need to, as you say, get on with it.
You got to get on with it, and it's back to the kind of, you got to be practical. And what I mean by that is, I came out of the IT world. I'm in the IT world and the intersection of IT and energy. And in the IT world, it's all about startups and new technology, and you try it out, and if it doesn't work, it'll fail fast, and do it again, and that didn't work. We do it again, and whatever. Great, right? Running at 10 miles an hour, and I change things every day. If I'm in a utility, I'm like, what do you mean fail fast? I never fail. I can't fail.
Exactly.
Zero, right?
Yeah.
So, duh. So the paradigm shift there, as in we have to fast fail opposed to no fail, is that they're two cultures. That's cultural. So trying to just, whatever about the technology, just trying to get that mindset and people changing it. So that's not going to happen overnight. And I'm back to the thing. People are just we don't know how to fix that, but we just got to be practical. We got to do something. So we're going to take this step and this step and this step and this step. So as I say, the lights have to stay on. We have rules. We mightn't like them all, but they're the rules. So deal with it. So it's a kind of get on with it.
Just get on with it.
Get on with it. And I'm sure some of the technology decisions or the regulations, and they'll keep changing because no one knows the right answer. So I say, I'm optimistic in that it's get on with it, but as opposed to ooh, shiny new toy and ooh, that's cool. Yeah, not much of that. They're sick of it. It's like, just get on with it.
Well, I guess the environment that we work in is not static.
Oh God, no.
And so to wait for it to settle down is almost never going to happen. So you might as well just work with what you have and do the best you can and figure it out as you go along.
You can look at the utilities, or everybody in the energy industry, in any industry, and it's like there's three types of companies, I think. There's the companies that make it happen, there's the companies that watch it happen, and then there's a big bunch that wonder what happened. and nobody wants to be in the third bunch.
You don't want to be those.
So it's back to just get on with it, make a decision. And the other thing was that you kind of, we'll hold off because it's not going to happen that fast. That argument's gone. It's happening. People are plugging in EVs, whether you like it or not. So it's like, deal with it.
Yeah, I think the rate of change has probably been something that people hadn't anticipated would move so fast in some elements, and yet in other elements have perhaps not moved as fast as they'd anticipated it would.
Absolutely. It's kind of, we can't move because we've no regulation. And then when you get regulation, everyone's whinging about the regulation. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I just think people are going, oh God, just get on with it.
Yeah.
And we will make, and as I say, we can't, we'll wait and see what happens in 5 years' time. It's too late, right? It's just
You'll have
whatever.
to step bus.
Yeah, just get on with it.
So one of the things that you mentioned you had found quite interesting in terms of an unexpected change was something to do with culture. Can you perhaps explain that a little bit more?
The energy industry has been very stable, and the utility industry for 50, 60 years, right? And the energy industry does not get the credit it deserves for keeping the most complex real-time system of systems working. The fact that the lights stay on 99.9% of the time with what goes on behind the scenes is phenomenal.
And the fact that we just expect it to be like
Nobody
that.
cares.
Exactly.
It's like, what do you mean there's no power? So, and they were doing that, and it was predictable. And now we're in a thing that, okay, everything's changing. With the energy transition, you have climate change, and you have regulation, and and there's new technologies, and like, there's new companies coming in from new industries, and it's like, where'd that competitor come from? Are you my friend or are you not, right? So all that happened, and fine, and everyone, we need to deal with it. But I kind of compare it to two big companies merging, and everyone in the first couple of months, oh great, we'll combine them. And then people start to internalize what it means for them individually. And it's like, because typically people will say, oh, of course we'll change. Well, that you'll change. I don't need to change. I'm
fine.
I'm fine. Everyone, but we need to change the company, but I'm grand, you'll change. And then it's like, I think it's the internalization with people back to, oh God, everything's changing. I have to change. My job's changing. My skills are changing. My thing. And that's uncomfortable.
It's scary.
It can be. Now, it's like anything. Some people will dive in with both feet. Other people will be like, whoa, hang on a second now. Is this right for me? And I think as that, it's back to the practical. People are going, God, this is happening.
Yeah.
With or without me. So, got to get on with it. Don't know if I have all the skills. Don't know what the future, because before it was predictable. I build this, I do that, I got money, and we're all happy. I can't do that with the investors anymore because they're going, well, how are you going to make money? But it's just get on with it. I got to do something. I can't sit still. But the cultural difference, and you have the startups coming in, oh, we must do this and do that, and as I say, now that they're doing stuff, it's kind of people are internalizing that, oh God, this industry is changing, and I need to change. And I think that to me is kind of there's some, I should know this, there's some emotional curve like mergers and whatever, and the industry's going through it. Now it's kind of going, oh God, we just got to get on with it.
I guess as well, for people that have been part of the industry for a while, it's also a case of asking, how long am I going to be relevant? how long is what I do going to be relevant? Do I need to reskill myself, and can I reskill myself? Do I have the ability to do so?
Agreed. And the energy industry, like any industry, has a challenge right now in that they're competing for new talent. They need new skills, they need new workforce diversity, whatever. But it's not the utility A competing with utility B, it's utility A competing with everybody.
Google and Amazon and the telecom
Whatever.
sector, yeah.
And Euroelectric did a recent study about how do they bring in new skills through the whole like apprenticeship programs and vocational training and what across Europe, and have they got the right skills and what skills do they need and whatever. So there's a lot of work being done on it, but it's like, okay, but we've got to bring them in. And sometimes energy companies aren't seen as the most cool and trendy places to work, right? So you got to go off and start changing and bring in change. But it's hard, and then you start seeing the new kids come in and they're younger than your children, and it's like, oh yeah, you go over there and play with that. Just don't touch the stuff. Just don't touch the big boys' toys. And then it's like, no, that has to change as well.
Don't touch that button.
That's my button. But seriously, so you see a lot of and the thing, I was talking to Paddy Young earlier in the week, and the thing is, the age profile coming here is getting younger, which is great.
Yes.
And you go over to the Initiate booth and you see I was watching some of the startups doing their pitches, like Dragon's Den. They were standing up and doing a 3-minute presentation, their business case, their value proposition, and basically why the Dragons would fund them in 3 minutes, no slides.
A la TED Talks.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, and I need my 40 minutes and my 180 slides to explain. And then we wonder why things are so complicated.
Yeah.
If you can say it in 3 minutes and get your value, get money.
Is it worth saying?
So there are cultural differences. And as I say, people are kind of going, ooh, this is becoming real. So yeah, it's fascinating, but it's like anything. Change is hard, right?
Well, I think that we are certainly at the most interesting time in the power sector, definitely.
Interesting is one word?
Yes. When they say, may you live in interesting times, I'm not always sure that they mean it as a compliment or as a good wish.
You get up in the morning and there's some more new interesting times. It is, in some ways it's relentless, it's fascinating, but it's, as I say, people are going, God, this isn't slowing down.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I'd be like, I'll be retired before any of this stuff happens, so I'm grand. And they're like going, oh God, I won't be gone before this stuff. So I'm back to, okay, we got to do something.
Exactly. I guess that you end up just thinking, well, one day I will be retired and I can process all of this.
But and then whatever. You've all the change is the new norm and whatever, blah blah. But seriously, I do think people are just now internalizing it. It's like anything, and it's like, how does it affect me, and
how do I cope with it?
Yeah. What are the opportunities? I personally, glass is always half full. That doesn't mean it's easy. So.
Unfortunately, this is all the time that I have. I would love to be able to spend more time talking to you, but thank you so much for your time and for being here with us.
No, it's been fun.
From European Utility Week, thanks so much for watching.